Hi guys, welcome to Third Stall Garage. My name is Doug. This channel is about the restoration of a 66 Mustang convertible named Vin. You can see the bottom side of it behind me. Episode 32, focusing on two things today. I'm going to try to quickly breeze through the final repair to the lower body pan of this, the rear passenger fender well patch. But also today I'm looking at what's next on this. So I've done a ton of work on straightening the unibody on it, patching the floor, stiffening the suspension, squaring things up, replacing the cowl and the firewall, and all of that work is done. And now I'm trying to figure out what's next. I've never done this type of a project before. Many of you, I'm sure, have. And so this would be a great opportunity for you to post some comments below. Also, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button if you would. That helps the channel. And I'm trying to figure out, where do I go from here? So here's my rough plan, and I'm curious to hear what you think about it. Once I get the bottom of the car done, I am going to turn my shop into a spray booth, and then I hope to epoxy prime, seam seal the bottom, paint the bottom, or maybe leave it in epoxy primer, I'm not sure. Also do the same thing on the inside of the car to the floor pan, the trunk, and the whole engine compartment. And then set the car back up and start doing final fitment of the body. I've had all the fenders, hood, front valance, all that stuff on. Put it all on again, and now start working on really dialing in my gaps between my door and the rear quarter. We've got a spot where it starts to spread. Also getting the hood to fit the cowl right, the hood to match the front fenders and all of that. Get the body the way that I want it to be approximately, then epoxy prime that before I start worrying about dinks and dents and flaws in the surface. So get the body in epoxy primer. Then I think work on the mechanicals, get the engine in good condition, drop the engine in, transmission, drive line, get the car drivable, then kind of tear it back down again, although the engine compartment will already be painted, and then do final paint on the whole body, and then the whole final assembly. Does that make sense? I don't want to do something in the wrong order and have to tear it all apart again. Nor do I want to do final paint now and then scratch it and ding it up while I'm putting the engine in. So I don't know, how have you done yours? What do you think? What recommendations, things have you done that have gone well, or mistakes that you've made that you want to share with me so I don't make the same mistakes? Be awesome. Thanks, watch the episode. Have a great day. It's Memorial Day here. I don't know when you're watching it, but happy Memorial Day. So thankful to live in the free country that was served by the veterans that have served it. God bless them. Thanks, have a great day. All right, so here's my situation. This is my rear passenger wheel well. And I have a similar problem that this arc doesn't continue. This is too high, and this is just a mess. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. Hopefully when I'm done with this, it will look like this and be all nice and strong and sealed and weather tight. See how it goes. Opened up, cleaned out, working on massaging this up, this back, this forward, and work on this patch. Cardboard template is made, fits in from this side, curves around, I tape on an extra piece, curves up, fills in this gap, and I'm running it all the way back to the spring mount. All right, we are back to the sacrificial fender, traced out the piece I needed. Added about 3/4 of an inch for the flange that I want to bend up. Now it's time to cut it out. Here's the final contoured piece. It is a funky three-dimensional shape. As you can see, a couple unique things. There's a major cutout here. That's because that's where I think the brake cable comes above the rear frame. I've got a couple 4 holes drilled here. Those are plug welds. There's an interior bracket from the inner fender well from on top that I think spot welded to the floor pan. And this is my replacement of that. Let me show it to you in the car. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld this end first and then pound this down so it sits nice and flush on, actually, the way my car's sitting. Then I'll weld it, so I'll be pounding it up or with it on its side, pounding it in. And then I'm gonna kind of massage this to lay flat the way that I want it to as I weld it. Once you get like the end of it welded in, this part becomes really moldable as opposed to flopping around on a bench. All right, see what it looks like installed, and then we're gonna start welding. Here's the piece installed. 2 holes to drill those to weld those plug welds in. A gap for the brake cable to come through. Next step's to weld it in, and I'll massage it down and nice and flush as I weld it. Making progress. Weld all the way around here, and the 4 plug welds that are in there. These are holding down the shape that I want. I will have to figure out how to fill that. This will flex in some, and then I might have to build a patch in there. Welding is done. It's not very pretty, but it's solid and strong. Now time to grind and clean up. See if we can make it pretty, and then I'll work on figuring out how to fill that in. Step closer, welded this shut. I decided instead of trying to fabricate small pieces, I welded this whole gap shut and then ground it smooth. Looks okay from this side. I'm sure if I could somehow stick my head inside the fender, it'd be ugly on the inside, but I feel good about that. Last step is I've created a little patch piece, filler piece to go in there. Now I will weld that later, seam seal all the edges around there. I think that's the last step. And that, my good friends, is a wrap on the end of the bottom of the car sheet metal repairs. I did make the choice to leave my welds exposed. All things being honest, half of it's because I don't feel like grinding them all down. I've been grinding for too long. Half of it's because I'm not sure it would look that much better ground down because some of the joints were overlapped instead of butt welded together, and you're still gonna see that there's a joint. And there's a part of me that says, why hide what it is? Let's just be honest, and if I ever sell this someday, somebody will be able to crawl underneath it and see exactly what I did and how solid it was and what my welds look like. It is, when I'm done, I'll have a resume of what I can do. So here's my piece patched in, patch up there. I also welded 3 holes there and 3 holes there. And I think I am ready to put this sucker back down on its feet. And I'm thinking my next learning curve is gonna need to be learning how to epoxy prime and seam seal the underside, the engine compartment. And boy, I've learned nothing about any of this yet. So, the inside of here, everything except the outside. And then I'll probably get started on body work. But if you have suggestions on or advice for me on order of work, my thought is get the underside epoxy primed and seam sealed, and then do a final fitting of the doors and fenders and hood and all of that, and adjust all my gaps, and then begin body work. Once the body work's done, epoxy prime the doors and quarters and hood and all of that, and then begin to work on mechanicals. That's my guess. What order would you do it in, or what advice do you have? Thanks for being part of Third Stall Garage. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll leave a comment below and I'll respond. Have a great day.